Consider a familiar drink that you might never have deeply thought about its potential to change the biological processes within your body. This change doesn't happen vaguely or according to subjective desires, but at a cellular level, where your tissues decide whether to regenerate or degrade, where metabolism chooses to burn or store energy, and where your body silently determines how you age. We are pleased to announce that this drink, one that may already be in your kitchen, has been shown to activate your body's endogenous stem cells, support the burning of stubborn excess fat, and even reduce inflammation, a factor leading to chronic diseases. This is not a magic potion or an expensive supplement. This is a journey of rediscovering what nature has provided and what modern science is proving effective. Today we will discuss one of the most powerful and underrated drinks on the planet, and how it can help you feel healthier, lighter, and more vibrant no matter what stage of life you are in. To begin, I want to mention a fact that many people have not yet realised. You were born with an extraordinary gift, a hidden system designed to heal your body from within. I am talking about stem cells. We understand that this phrase might make you think of expensive clinics or controversial treatments. However, please listen to our analysis. From the moment you were born, your body was equipped with 70 to 80 million stem cells. These cells are not confined to an inaccessible place. They are stored in your bone marrow, located in organs, interwoven into your skin, and even exist within your fat tissue. Think of them as your body's own construction crew, always ready to regenerate, repair, and renew whenever necessary. For many years, we were told that humans do not have the ability to regenerate like some other animals. You may have heard stories of salamanders regrowing limbs or starfish regrowing arms, and we often thought that was their characteristic, not ours. However, this is no longer entirely true. Science has proven that we actually have the ability to regenerate, just more slowly. Your liver can regenerate, your lungs can repair themselves. Even some parts of your brain can regenerate, something once considered science fiction not long ago. The difference is that we don't regrow an entire arm or leg, but we are constantly regenerating from within, cell by cell, tissue by tissue. The question is not whether you can regenerate, but whether you are providing your body with what it needs to perform that process effectively. Now we will delve into an interesting and perhaps slightly uncomfortable aspect. The same stem cells that help you heal are also involved in a process you might not want: fat storage. When you consume more energy than your body needs, that excess energy has to go somewhere. Your body is very smart, it doesn't waste anything. So it will take that excess and store it in fat cells, which are your fuel depots. But what happens when these depots are full? Your body doesn't stop. It will call upon the stem cells we've been talking about and command, "We need more storage space." And these stem cells will comply, becoming new fat cells. This is why some people experience rapid weight gain, even when they feel they aren't eating more than usual. The problem isn't just the food, but how your body responds at a cellular level. However, here's the crucial point. If stem cells can be directed to store fat, they can also be instructed to do other things. They can be directed to repair, regenerate, or burn energy instead of accumulating it. And that direction comes from the foods and drinks you choose every day. To illustrate, there are compounds in certain foods, which we call bioactives, that actually have the ability to communicate with your stem cells. For example, tomatoes contain a substance called lycopene. This is what gives them their distinctive red colour. But lycopene doesn't just create a beautiful colour. Lycopene has been shown to keep fat stem cells in a stable state. In other words, it signals them to stop creating more fat and to rest. Olives and olive oil contain a compound called hydroxytyrosol. This compound is particularly interesting because it not only prevents fat storage, but also actively encourages your stem cells to switch to repair mode, helping the body regenerate tissue instead of increasing your waistline. We understand that this sounds too simple. You might wonder if a tomato or a little olive oil can affect what's happening inside your fat tissue. Well, that's exactly what we're presenting. This isn't magic, it's biology. These compounds are like messengers. They travel through your bloodstream, reach your cells, and deliver instructions. The more you understand this, the more you realize that every meal, every snack, every sip of a drink is a dialogue with your body. You are signaling your body to store and slow down, or to repair and speed up. So, if food can do that, what about drinks? This is where the story gets even more fascinating. Because there is a drink, an ancient beverage, time-tested and scientifically validated, that takes all of this to a completely different level. I am referring to tea. Not bottled sugary iced tea, nor overly processed products with artificial flavours. I'm talking about real tea, the kind that has been consumed for thousands of years, from the mountains of China to the villages of Japan and the tea hills of India. Tea is one of the most researched beverages on the planet, and what we have discovered about it in recent years is truly astonishing. Let's start with green tea, as this is probably the type of tea most people think of first. Green tea contains a group of compounds called polyphenols. Within that group, one compound stands out, EGCG. We don't ask you to memorize this name. What's important is to remember its function. This compound has been shown to cut off the blood supply that nourishes growing fat tissue. It reduces inflammation, protects your stem cells so they can perform their functions correctly. It even acts as a prebiotic, meaning it feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. And a healthy digestive system is absolutely essential for a healthy metabolism. However, here's the really important part for us today. Research has shown that the polyphenols in green tea actually help you reduce visceral fat. This is the dangerous kind of fat, the kind you can't see, the kind that wraps around your internal organs and promotes inflammation. This is the kind of fat associated with diabetes, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's disease. You might be thinking, green tea sounds great, but how much difference can one cup of tea make? This is a reasonable question, and the answer is consistency. One cup of tea won't change your health overnight. But one cup every day, consistently for weeks and months, that's when your body starts to respond. Imagine it this way. If you're steering a large ship, you don't yank the wheel hard to one side. You make small, steady adjustments. That's exactly what we're doing here. We're giving the body small, steady signals that accumulate over time. And green tea is just the beginning. We also have matcha, a type of tea that is potent on a completely different level. Matcha is not just brewed tea, it's made from the entire tea leaf, ground into a fine powder. And here's the key. About a month before harvest, farmers cover the tea leaves from the sun. Why? Because when the plant is stressed by lack of light, it responds by producing more polyphenols, sometimes 30 times, even up to 300 times more than regular green tea. That means when you drink matcha, you're not just sipping tea, you're consuming the entire tea leaf, including the fibre, along with an incredibly concentrated dose of those healing compounds. Studies have even shown that matcha can target cancer stem cells, the type of cells that cause tumours to recur. We are not claiming matcha is a cure for cancer, but we are emphasising that it is very powerful, and for those who want to preserve muscle, protect their brain, and maintain their body's ability to renew itself as they age, matcha is a gentle, delicious daily ritual worth adopting. Next is oolong tea, which is partially fermented, and pu'er tea, which is fully fermented and aged, sometimes for years. Many people assume that fermented teas lose their beneficial compounds, but that's not true. In fact, the fermentation process creates new compounds and even adds probiotics, which are live beneficial bacteria that support your gut health. For example, pu'er tea originated from a region that once traded tea along the ancient Silk Road. To survive the long journey, the tea was smoked and fermented. Today, researchers have discovered that pu'er tea activates brown fat, the type of fat that actually burns calories to keep your body warm, and it also reduces the formation of new fat cells. Drinking pu'er tea is like resetting your metabolism in a cup. And if tea isn't your favourite drink, or if you want to add another tool to your health toolkit, there's coffee. Coffee is rich in chlorogenic acid, along with many other polyphenols. These compounds protect your stem cells, boost your metabolism, and help your body process sugar more efficiently. Even if you skip the caffeine and opt for decaf, you still get those benefits. Caffeine itself provides a little metabolic boost. It wakes up your brain and gently stimulates your metabolism. But it's not for everyone. Some people tolerate it well, others don't. The point is, the coffee bean itself is packed with compounds that support your health, with or without the stimulating effects of caffeine. There's one more thing that might surprise you. Even the temperature of your drink matters. When you drink anything cold, iced tea, cold water, etc., it enters your stomach and your body immediately detects that temperature drop. And what's your body's response? It activates your brown fat to warm things back up. That process burns calories. Not a huge amount, but enough to make a difference when you do it consistently. So if you enjoy iced tea or just a cold glass of water in the morning, you're gently boosting your metabolism with every sip. Now, we want to clarify something. All of this is not about restriction. It's not about giving up the foods you love or forcing yourself into some rigid plan. It's about addition. It's about adding these powerful, scientifically researched drinks that work with your body's natural systems. It's about making small, sustainable changes that feel good and that your body actually responds positively to. Because here's the truth. Your body wants to heal, wants to renew, wants to stay strong and vibrant. But it needs the right signals, and those signals come from what you put into your body. Not occasionally, but every single day. We want to share a problem that most people don't talk about enough. And frankly, it's something we wish more doctors would explain to their patients. When we talk about body fat, we often think of what's visible, the softness around the belly, the jiggle in the thighs, or a little fat under the arms. That's subcutaneous fat. And yes, it plays an important role, but there's another type of fat that is far more dangerous and you can't see it at all. It's visceral fat, and it lies deep inside your body, wrapping around your organs like a thick glove. And here's what makes it silently dangerous. You can be thin, you can look perfectly healthy on the outside, but still carry a dangerous amount of this hidden fat. Imagine it this way. You're packing a fragile light bulb for shipping. You put it in a box and surround it with packing peanuts, right? Just enough to keep it safe. But now imagine you keep stuffing more and more packing peanuts in there, so much that they start to press against the light bulb, threatening to break it. You close the box, tape it up, and from the outside it still looks fine, neat, but inside there's too much pressure. That's what visceral fat does. It accumulates around your liver, kidneys, heart, intestines. And when there's too much, it starts to squeeze those organs. It grows rapidly, is highly inflammatory, and doesn't care if you're obese or thin. It can happen to anyone. One of the most surprising places visceral fat appears is your tongue. Yes, your tongue. Studies of tongue anatomy have found that it's made up of 3 distinct parts. The tip of the tongue is flexible and soft, helping you taste and move food. The middle part is mostly muscle, strong and dynamic. But the back third, that part is interspersed with fat, like a piece of steak. And when people start to gain weight, even if they don't look heavy, one of the first places excess fat is stored is in the back of the tongue. Do you know what the first sign often is? Snoring. Your partner says you've started snoring at night, or you wake yourself up struggling to breathe. This is because when you lie down and your whole body relaxes, that fatty part of the tongue also relaxes and it blocks your airway. This condition is called sleep apnea, and it's more common than people think. But here's the key point. If your tongue is accumulating fat, so are your internal organs. It's an early warning sign that visceral fat is building up, and it's time to pay attention. The good news is that visceral fat responds very well to the things we've been discussing. It's highly metabolically active, meaning it responds quickly to changes in your diet and lifestyle. When you start drinking tea regularly, when you support your gut health, when you provide your body with the nutrients it needs instead of flooding it with excess calories, that visceral fat will start to shrink. You won't see an immediate change in the mirror, but you will feel it. You'll have more energy, sleep better, have less bloating, reduced brain fog, and less joint pain. That's your body healing itself from the inside out. And this brings us to a really important point. Many people view fat as an evil thing that needs to be completely eliminated. But that's not true. Fat is not the enemy. In fact, your body needs fat to function. It cushions your organs, insulates your body, and stores energy when you need it. The problem isn't with fat itself, but when fat becomes overactive, when it starts to grow uncontrollably, when it becomes inflamed and dysfunctional. What we're trying to do here isn't to eliminate fat, but to manage it. We're trying to bring it back into balance. And the way we do that is by communicating with it through the food we eat, the drinks we choose, and the habits we build. So let's discuss how you actually put this into practice. Because knowing all of this is one thing, but practicing it is another. And we want this to be something you can implement starting tomorrow morning. You don't have to change your entire life. You don't have to throw out everything in your pantry or sign up for some complicated program. You just need to build a simple, sustainable routine around a few key habits. We'll guide you on how to do that. Start your day by hydrating before you drink coffee. Before you check your phone, before you do anything else, drink a full glass of cold water, not room temperature water. Remember what we discussed earlier? Cold water enters your stomach. Your body senses the temperature drop and it will activate your metabolism to warm your body back up. This is a small metabolic boost, but it sets the rhythm for the entire day. It wakes up your system, signaling to your body that it's time to move, burn, and regenerate. And frankly, most of us are a little dehydrated when we wake up. So this habit, a glass of cold water first thing in the morning, is a simple yet powerful start. Then, mid-morning, brew yourself a cup of green tea or matcha. If you've never tried matcha, don't be intimidated. Yes, it's a powder. Yes, it will froth when you whisk it. But you can also just stir it into hot water with a spoon or blend it into a smoothie if that's easier. The goal is to get those polyphenols into your body. This is your mid-morning signal to your body. Protect, renew, support. If you're someone who enjoys a little ritual, this can be a beautiful one. Sit down, take a deep breath, sip slowly. Let it be a moment of peace in your day. And while you do that, your body is silently activating stem cells, supporting your gut, calming inflammation, and instructing your fat cells to function correctly. After lunch, switch to another type of tea. Oolong or pu'er tea are excellent choices here because they aid digestion. Fermented teas, in particular, help your gut process the food you just ate, and they introduce beneficial bacteria that keep your gut microbiome healthy. A healthy gut isn't just about avoiding bloating or indigestion. It's directly linked to your metabolism, your immune system, and even your mood. So that post-lunch cup of tea isn't just a good habit, it's a health strategy. If you're a coffee drinker, make it your mid-afternoon energy boost. But here's the important thing. Skip the sugar, skip the flavoured syrups. Keep it simple. Black coffee or maybe a splash of milk if you prefer. The chlorogenic acids and polyphenols in coffee are doing the main work here, and you don't want to undermine that by adding sugar, which spikes insulin and signals your body to store fat instead of burning it. And if caffeine makes you jittery or keeps you up at night, opt for decaf. You'll still get the benefits. Throughout the day, keep drinking water, cold water if possible, but even room temperature is fine. Hydration is one of the most underrated tools we have for maintaining health. It helps your blood flow, your cells communicate, your kidneys filter waste, your skin glow, and as we said before, it supports your metabolism in ways most people never think about. If plain water feels boring, add a slice of lemon, a few fresh mint leaves, or brew a pitcher of iced green tea and keep it in the fridge. Make it easy, make it enjoyable. The goal is consistency, not perfection. Now here's what we want you to understand. Each of these drinks, water, tea, coffee, is sending a message to your body. And that message is, repair, don't store. Renew, don't degrade. Burn, don't accumulate. Your body is listening. It's designed to listen, but it needs to hear that message consistently, day after day, week after week. You're not looking for a quick fix. You're building a new normal. And that new normal, over time, will become the foundation for a healthier, stronger, and more resilient you. We also want to address something that might be on your mind. Perhaps you're thinking, all of this sounds great, but I've tried so many things before and nothing has worked. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm too old for this to make a difference. Let us be absolutely clear with you. Your body is never too old to respond. Your stem cells don't disappear with age. They are still there, still capable, still waiting for the right signals. Yes, things slow down as we get older. Yes, it takes a little more effort, but the science is absolutely clear. The choices you make today matter. They matter tomorrow, next month, and 5 years from now. We have seen people in their 70s and 80s make simple changes, adding tea to their diet, drinking more water, choosing whole foods over processed ones, and see their energy return, inflammation decrease, and waistlines shrink. Not because they adopted a harsh diet, but because they gave their body what it needed to heal itself. And that's what we're really talking about here. We're not fighting against our bodies. We're working with them. We're supporting the systems that are already in place, the systems that have kept you alive and functioning all these years. We're just giving them a little help. One more thing we want you to know. This is not about perfection. There will be days when you forget to drink your tea. There will be days when you reach for something sweet, salty, or indulgent. And that's perfectly fine. Life is for living, not for controlling. What matters is the overall pattern. What matters is that more often than not, you are making choices that support your health. That's it. That's the entire strategy. Small, consistent, supportive choices that accumulate over time. So here's what we want you to do. Tomorrow morning, start simple. A glass of cold water when you wake up. A cup of green tea or matcha mid-morning. That's it. Just those two things. See how you feel. Notice if you have a little more energy, a little more clarity. Then, when that becomes easy, add the next step. Maybe it's iced tea after lunch. Maybe it's replacing that sweet afternoon snack with a cup of coffee. Build it gradually. Let it become part of your rhythm. And remember, every time you take a sip, you're not just drinking a beverage. You're sending instructions to trillions of cells. You're telling your stem cells to repair tissue, not store fat. You're telling your metabolism to burn energy, not conserve it. You're telling your body that you're on its side, that you're listening, that you're giving it what it needs to do, its best job, to heal, to renew, and to keep you strong. Your body was never designed to break down and give up. It was designed to adapt, to regenerate, to recover. And the fact that you're here listening to this, learning about this, means you're already halfway there. You're asking the right questions, you're looking for ways to feel better, live better, age better. And that mindset, that openness, that willingness to try is more important than anything else. So tomorrow, before you reach for that quick snack or expensive supplement, start with that simple drink. The drink that can help regenerate stem cells, burn stubborn fat, and ignite your body's natural healing abilities from within. It's been in your kitchen all along, waiting for you to see it for what it truly is. Not just a drink, but a tool, a signal, a daily reset button for your health. If this information has opened up something new for you, please hit the like button so others can find this information too. Subscribe so you don't miss our next content, because we're just beginning this journey together. And leave a comment below. Let us know, what drink will you start your day with tomorrow? Are you a green tea person, matcha, coffee, or will you challenge yourself with cold water first thing in the morning? We want to hear from you. Your story matters. Your health matters. And we're here to walk this path with you, one cup at a time. Your next sip could be the one that changes everything.